Welcome to Horsepower, presented by America's Best Racing and brought to you by Body Armor Sports Drink. I'm Bram Weinstein, and our guest today needs no introduction. He's also made me a lot of money. Hall of Fame jockey, Mike Smith. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, Bram. How are you?
I'm doing good. Format today, Mike, 10 questions, followed by our horse racing-based lightning round. Fastest 2 minutes in streaming. Okay, you ready? Let's do it.
All right.
All right, let's do it. Is it weird being in the Hall of Fame for almost 20 years and still actually racing?
Sometimes I was just thinking of that the other day, and sometimes it is. Although when I was blessed enough to get into the Hall of Fame, I didn't really quite feel like I belonged at that point. But again, been so blessed after that to have done quite a few things that I feel that I finally belong.
You can admit you belong there now, right?
Yeah. Well, now I can.
Yeah. I like done a few things. That's an interesting way of putting at least the last few years of your career.
Yeah, like I said, I've actually I've had a second Hall of Fame career since I was blessed to have gotten in 03.
When you hear people marvel at guys like Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl at 43, are you like, try winning a Kentucky Derby at 55, pal?
Yeah, man, 43 in the NFL is probably being like 65 as far as a jockey goes, because he's got nothing that's going to do the running for him. I got a powerful, incredible athlete that's underneath me as well. But yeah, there's something to what Tom has done, and what athletes are starting to do more of is really take care of your body inside and out. It pays off in them later years. It really does.
If 43, 63 in the NFL, what's like 55 in racing? What's that one? 35 now? Is that what that is?
Yeah, the new 50 in horse racing, man. You're 35.
You are known for the workout regimens, not unlike Brady. What do you do these days to stay in shape?
I have a couple of personal trainers that I train with, one half the year, the other half, and we do all sorts of stuff, man. Whatever it takes, the new stuff that comes out, some of the basic basic workout stuff. I do a lot of cardio on my own. I hike, I bike ride, I run. I usually save all the cardio for myself. I do that on my own time, but my personal trainers, we do all sorts of endurance training, weight training, all kinds of stuff.
All right, let me take you back in the day. I think I have this right. You dropped out of high school, right, to be a jockey full time. That's correct.
Yeah, it is a little ashamed to say, but yeah, I at ninth grade, I dropped out. My uncle was starting he took out his trainer's license. He had a training facility where he broke horses and got them ready to go to the racetrack for other trainers, and decided to go out on his own. And when he did that, I was about that age to start riding as well, and I dropped out and I left with him.
Did you think that was crazy at the time when you were doing it?
You know, man, I was just, was following something that I had such a passion for and still do. That no, it was just all I ever wanted to do. I just couldn't see how I was going to stay focused enough to stay in school long enough to finish the next few years before I got to ride. And it had already come to me. I already had the bug, and I'd already, it had already bitten me. And I've already been, riding a few match races here and there all over New Mexico and Texas, and was ready to start professionally. And at that young of an age, believe it or not, yeah, of course, a lot of people went out on their own back then, a little younger than they do nowadays.
You're from Dexter, New Mexico, which is not far from Roswell, New Mexico. And there's been a lot in the news about UFOs lately being cited by airline pilots and the military. So what's the truth, Mike? What is the truth?
I can't say that I've actually run into one, to be honest with you, around there. Of course, it depends on what time of the evening that those people are seeing those things. Hopefully, they're not flying when they're seeing them. They probably had one or two cocktails and they seeing all kinds of things out that way. The sky's so clear back there, though. It is amazing what you can, what you think you can see anyway.
You keep racing into your 60s and 70s, people are going to start asking questions about you too, Mike.
They might think I'm part anyway. Might be half. I look like half of one.
All right, let's get into the real news here. Who's better, Zenyatta or Justify? Tell the truth.
Oh, and they're both champions in their own right. Two totally different types of horses. One had a lot of speed and only raced until he just his 3-year-old year. The other mare didn't even start till he retired. Well, she would have started when she was 4 almost. So it's just too, you can't. I hate when honestly I don't like to judge, or compare horses, because in their time they were the best that there was, and that's all they can do is compete during their time. It's like saying, who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. I mean, Michael could only play in his time as LeBron. So that they're just blessed to have done extremely well and be at the top of their game at that time. So I can't ever compare any horse.
Well, it's Michael Jordan. I'll settle that part for you, Mike.
Well, I'm at that age group as well, so I would agree with you. But there this young, the generation that LeBron has been blessed to play around, that's going to argue the point, and rightfully so. So it's just, in their time they were the best.
Yep. All right, then you won't compare the horses. How about the humans? Who's the best jockey ever?
Oh, that's just so hard to say. I would say that I was blessed to have gotten to ride there towards the end of probably the best era of
Yep.
riders. As you could probably say, you ask NBA players, they would probably say, when you got to play with Bird and Michael and Magic, and they'll say that's the best NBA era ever, right? Well, I would think in the mid 70s all the way up until the mid 90s, was a group of riders that were just, to this day, each and every one of them would probably still be on top. They were that good.
Do you think it's you though? Would you be willing to say that?
Again, I think that when you've been blessed enough to have that kind of talent, that have been up there before, I think we all at times, you try just to stay pretty even, where
Yeah.
at worst, I'm still pretty good, but I think there've been times, maybe that I could honestly say, wow, I rode a race there, or that's this last month, man, I've been riding lights out. But then again, there's times where, man, I think I suck. So it just depends.
Not in the big ones though, and that's how you got the nickname Money Mike. First thing I want to know is, do you like that nickname?
Well, Bob Baffert gave me that nickname, and it's better than the one he had before that one. So I'll take it. Let's put it that way. He used to call me Bambi. He used to say I was too nice. so so when he came up with Money Mike, man, I said, well, I like that one better than Bambi, so I'm going with that one.
If so you're too nice, then this definitely is not you. Who's the biggest trash talker on the track?
Trash talker on the track. Well, back in the day, I think everyone would say it was Angel. He was the intimidator, man. He could talk all kinds of stuff and get into your head before you even rode the race. He was brilliant at it. Something he actually loved to do, man. He loved the game on all. He played it from all different ways and different levels, and he would really try to get in your head. So I would have to say that the biggest trash talker that I ever rode with would have been Aiden.
All right, question 10. When are you going to say I'm too old to do this anymore?
I tell my friends, that really know horse racing and know riders. I said, man, let me know when you start seeing it. And so far, no one's called me yet, so I guess I'm okay right now. And I feel great. I think if I start seeing it in my training regimen, then I'll know. But like I said, I have personal trainers, and we keep record and track of of all I've been doing. These guys have had me for many years, up until, shoot, the guy I have now. One of them had me 16 years. The other one's 14. So we got a record. I'm still doing what I was doing 10 years ago. So as long as I can continue to do that, and I feel that I'm still helping the horse, I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now more than anything. I don't ride a lot. I don't try to be leading rider in the country anymore. I just want to ride good horses and big spotlight races, and that's really it. And I've been blessed to surround myself around the right people that are keeping me in that. So as long as I can continue to do that, and I don't really have to go back to having to ride, more horses over what I'm doing right now, then
Yeah.
I'm going to keep riding.
All right, lightning round time. Fastest 2 minutes in streaming, 2 minutes on the clock. Here we go, Mike. You ready?
I'll try. I'll try and talk quicker. I'm from New Mexico and Texas. We talk a little slow. We got a little dry.
All right, I'll keep it slow for you. What do you miss about not having crowds at the races?
Oh, there's nothing like the electricity that the fans bring. They really bring a lot to the game, and I never really realized that until COVID hit.
Justify won the Triple Crown, did not race as a 2-year-old. We made an enormous deal of that. Did we make too much of a big deal of that?
No, there's a reason that no horse has been able to do that since Apollo, the Apollo curse they call it. It's extremely hard to do. So what he did will maybe never matched again.
Why is it hard to do?
Just get ready for the Triple Crown. Triple Crown is tough, man. It's grueling on a horse. For a horse to only do it in 112 days, period, from the time he started training to when he retired, what he was able to accomplish in 112 days is just incredible. I mean, yeah, that just goes to show you what great horseman Bob is, man. He did I can't even tell you the job he did with him. I told him he belonged in the Hall of Fame just off of that one horse.
Speaking of Bob, are you jealous of his hair?
It is pretty in it.
Yeah.
It has something. There's something to it, man. It certainly stands out. I mean, I don't look at mine. There's a lot of us bald guys out there.
I know you're based
I'm
out
kind of
west.
jealous of anybody that has hair, to be honest with you.
I know you're based out west. Most underrated horse racing venue for you. Which place do you like the most?
Ooh, do I like the most, man? I love racetracks, man. I've been to some of the small, really, really small tracks, even Charlestown. Sometimes I just love going to these places, and the people that you meet, the characters, man, that racing brings, that brings to you is just amazing. So, man, I always thought I made it big time at any racetrack that I was at, that I was blessed to be riding and doing well at. So I can't just name one, although I live at Santa Anita, which is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was blessed to ride in New York, which I think is amazing. Kingland is one of the prettiest places you could be in as far as a horse country or horse land. There's just so many of them. But again, some of the smaller venues, I love Oaklawn Park as well. It's just, they're just amazing, and they're all unique, and they all have their thing.
Mike Smith, who has just proven here that nice guys can finish first. Thank you for joining us on Horsepower, Mike. Appreciate it.
And thanks for having me, man. Just holler back at me. Have me back on anytime.
I'm Bram Weinstein. We'll see you next time.